Steve!
Alan,
What's doing?
just sitting back, thinking about refrigerant gases.
Yeah, that sounds pretty boring.
Yeah?
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
So can you tell them?
Who?
Them. Those guys.
Who them?
Yeah.
Out there? I forgot. Why don't you tell them?
Refrigerants are colourless, odourless gases that are used in cooling units like fridges and air conditioners.
Oh, like this one.
Yes. So,
How about this one?
yes, that one too. So,
What about this one?
yeah, like that one.
Is this one?
Yeah.
What about this?
Yes, that is one as well.
Hey, Steve.
Are you done? So what if I told you you could save the world?
I'd ask you if I can wear a cape.
Bloody oath you can. Oh. Alan, that's just old insulation.
So, the first cape Superman wore was old insulation.
No, it wasn't.
So you're saying you don't want to save the world?
No?
So how do we save the world?
Well.
Wait. Let deep voiceover guy do it.
Huh?
These blokes are right. It's not every day we get a chance to save the world. Climate change is real. Greenhouse gases are building up in the atmosphere and warming the planet. Refrigerant gases make up 12% of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. That's a lot, and we can actually do something about it.
Refrigerant gases are a real problem as they are powerful greenhouse gases. For example, 1 kilogram of refrigerant gas is equivalent to more than 1,000 kilograms of carbon dioxide, and depending on the gas, up to 8,000 kilograms. Another way to think about this is a fully charged car air conditioner, if that charge was released in the atmosphere, would be the equivalent to driving that car around for 4 months continuously.
Hang on. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah,
What are you thinking?
nothing.
You are such a tool.
That's not what I was thinking.
Why don't we just not release the gases into the air at all?
Saving the world's easy.
Problem solved.
Well, he's right. But the problem is when air conditioners are removed or replaced, the gas has to be released somehow. Something has to be done with it.
Well, why don't we just release the gas into the air?
Seriously? Are you? You are a tool.
If you're going to be rude, I can take the cape off.
It's f***ing insulation, Alan. Huh?
No swearing, Steve.
Duck? Huh, okay, good. Take the ducking cape off.
Okay. It's off. Could have saved the world, but you ruined it. You're a ruiner, Steve.
Ducking hell, Alan.
Well, Steve, the problem is that Alan is right. The quick and easy thing to do with the gases is release it into the air.
About 50% of refrigerant gases are just released into the air. That's why we have such a problem. If those gases could be recovered instead, they can either be destroyed or reused. It takes a bit more time, but it can make a real difference to the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
Refrigerant Reclaim Australia will actually pay for recovered refrigerant and process it either for reuse or destroy it so it doesn't have any environmental impact.
Wait. Australia must only produce a tiny amount of the world's refrigerant gases. What difference is it going to make?
Holy shit! An actual decent question from Alan.
Should I get the cape back out?
Deep voiceover guy.
In the 1980s, the world recognised that chlorofluorocarbon gases were destroying the ozone layer, the critical protective layer of ozone around the Earth. It affected Australia more than anywhere else in the world, increasing rates of skin cancer, fueling droughts and bushfires, and damaging crops. But the whole world came together to do something about it.
The Montreal Protocol was a global effort to phase out chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, and replace them with ozone-friendly compounds, the hydrofluorocarbons, or HFCs. It required a global effort between countries, governments, scientists and industry. We need to do it again for HFCs, and this will happen as HFCs are now regulated as part of the Montreal Protocol following an amendment a few years ago. And you can play your part too by capturing these refrigerant gases before they get into the atmosphere, which will help reduce the effect of these gases on climate change.
Every time you uninstall an air conditioner, don't release the gas. Recover it and take it to Refrigerant Reclaim Australia for disposal.
That's damn inspiring stuff. I suppose we could have a chance to save the world.
I should get the cape back on.
Alan, it's still just old insulation.
And it's wet.
You spilled your drink on it.
And it's sticky. Bugger.
You are such a tool.
Well, you can't save the world with a sticky cape, Steve. Steve? Steve? Steve! 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 Steve. Oh, Steve!
Alan,
What's doing?
just sitting back thinking about refrigerant gases.
I love refrigerant gases.
Really?
Well, like not intimately, like not in the biblical sense.
Well, I was just thinking about how releasing them into the atmosphere is so bad for the environment.
Environment.
Care to elaborate?
Do you not understand English? An interjection, meaning that's ridiculous. From the Latin, nobody cum carius.
Nobody cares about the environment.
Yeah. Mother Nature, she'll be right. Mothers always are. Except for my mother. She cries every time I speak to her.
Right. Well, what if I was to tell you that refrigerant gases can make you money?
It's true, Alan. Refrigerant gases from air conditioning units are valuable. You're throwing money away if you just release it into the air.
So there you are. Don't release them into the atmosphere.
So, how do I turn this clear, odorless stuff into cold, hard cash?
Well,
Wait. I wasn't asking you. I was asking Jennifer from Refrigerant Reclaim Australia.
who?
There are a number of ways you can make money from refrigerant gases. From reusing it or selling it if it's the right standard, to returning it for destruction. Releasing it into the air is not only bad for the environment, you're throwing away a valuable commodity.
Often when air conditioning and cooling units are uninstalled, there's plenty of good quality refrigerant gas left in the system. If this refrigerant is extracted and stored, it can be used to regas other units. So rather than having to buy new gas, you're using what you've recovered. That saves you money.
Wait. If I just release the gas, I can get to the next job quicker, and that saves me money.
But you can charge the client for the time it takes you to extract the gas. So you're making money whilst you extract the gas and then saving money by reusing it.
And then I can sell that same gas back to the client and make more money.
You probably shouldn't do that.
But I can make more money.
Alan.
Fine.
You can make money from the gas in other ways too, you know.
I'm not looking.
It's true. If you don't have any use for the gas yourself, you can take it to a refrigerant gas wholesaler. They'll send it to RRA for safe disposal or reclamation. If it's rubbish, they'll destroy it so it doesn't damage the environment. All refrigerant gas wholesalers will take the gas off your hands, and there are more than 500 locations around Australia. And depending on what sort of gas it is, it could be worth a lot of money.
But what if I don't know what type of gas it is?
Well,
Jennifer can tell us about that too.
RRA recommends you use a refrigerant gas identifier. If you don't have your own gas identifier, you can take it to a wholesaler and we'll take it from there. It's seriously the easiest money you will ever make.
see? So you can save money and make money.
Money, you say?
Yes, many times.
What if the boss is giving me a hard time and I don't have time to recover the gas? Steve, what if the boss is giving me a
I heard
hard...
what you said. I actually just thought deep voiceover guy was going to answer it. All right, okay. Well, if you release the gas into...
If you release it into the air, you're breaking the law. And breaking the law has consequences.
I could be sworn by a ninja task force.
Probably not a ninja task force, Alan, but you will face large fines and could lose your license.
See, Steve? I told you shouldn't release it into the air. Did you hear that, Steve? You can make money and save money and avoid a fine if you do the right thing. Steve? 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 Money, Steve, money. Steve? Steve?
Alan,
What's doing?
just sitting back thinking about refrigerant gases.
That's a little bit weird, Steve.
Is it? What are you thinking about?
Oh, nothing.
You know I can see your thought bubble, right?
I did not know that. So, Steve, please tell me all about refrigerant gases.
Did you know that when you're servicing or uninstalling a cooling unit, you can't just release the gas into the air?
Because environment?
Yes. Don't start.
Fine.
But I thought you might like to know what happens to the gas after you've recovered it.
Something boring? I presume.
It's actually not boring at all, Alan.
I've got this one, deep voiceover guy.
But Alan wants to hear it
But,
in a more manly voice.
what?
Thanks, Steve. As you know, when you recover gas from a cooling unit for storage in a cylinder, if you can't reuse it or don't know what type of gas it is, you can take it to a refrigerant gas wholesaler.
His voice isn't that deep.
Then the gas is sent to Refrigerant Reclaim Australia for identification and treatment.
RRA is a not-for-profit organisation that is owned by industry and works with industry to help recover, reclaim and destroy surplus and unwanted refrigerants. We aim to improve the industry's environmental performance by reducing the amount of emissions caused by refrigerants through our take-back program, where we pay fridgies for unwanted gas and process it appropriately. We've been around since 1993, and in that time we've stopped millions of tonnes of ozone-depleting gas and greenhouse gases from entering the atmosphere.
Some of the reclaimed gas sent to RRA can be reused if it's the right standard. The rest has to be destroyed.
Well, but half the time I don't even know what type of gas I'm extracting.
Jennifer?
Who's Jennifer? We receive all sorts of gases at RRA. First, we work out what gas it is. Some may be purified for reuse. If it's unable to be reused, then we destroy it.
Huh. That sounds super cool. I can see why you're always thinking about refrigerant gases.
Yeah. The machine used to break down the gases gets hotter than the sun.
Oh, that's hot.
Yes, it is.
Like, really hot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but like, really.
This is our plascon process. Basically, we use pyrolysis, and that's degradation by heat, to break down all the CFC's compounds to its simple molecule form. So here's the torch section where the plasma arc is actually being formed. Underneath it is the injection manifold with all the CFC's gases gets injected right under the plasma arc. The plasma arc temperature has been measured to be at 10,000 degrees Celsius, which is actually hotter than the surface of the sun.
Really.
And the destruction temperature is about 1,500 degrees Celsius.
RRA take back and destroy all types of ozone-depleting and synthetic greenhouse gas refrigerants.
Here we have our reaction chamber with all the broken compounds actually being fed directly downwards. And from there, all the acidic gases that's being formed gets quenched by alkaline solution. At the end of the day, we're only left with salty effluent that we actually discharge into the sewer.
Really hot.
So, Alan, as you can see, recovering refrigerant gases isn't just good for the environment. It doesn't just save you money. It's also dead simple, as RRA will work out what it is and deal with it for you. And the good news is most people are already doing the right thing. So all we have to do is keep it up and encourage others to do the same. And we're laughing. Alan. Alan? Alan. Alan? Alan. 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 You're weird, Alan.